From the art of the deal to keeping it real. Live from the Simply Vegas studios, it's The Power Move with John Gafford.
Back again for another episode of The Power Move, the podcast where we share thoughts, guess, feelings, whatever it is to try to make you better. I'm your host. My name is John Gafford. To the left of me, riding shotgun, if you will, is the one, the only, Colt Amidan.
What's going on, guys?
Better known as
the green dot.
The Bulgarian mongoose.
The green dot.
The polo assassin.
You always go to the polo assassin. And if he's riding shotgun, that means across the way, riding bitch, Chris Connel. How are you, counselor?
I'm riding my own bus.
Riding your own bus. No, you are. You're good. And I got to tell you what, today's show is going to be good because I feel like Colt has it.
Hold on.
No,
riding bitch is such a like if you have a Rolls Royce.
Is that a sexist thing to say?
It's not going to be where you sit. You're going to be driven.
Yeah, you got to be in the back.
Like who made sitting up front like a plebeian some position of honor?
Okay, I think it really is just behind the motorcycle. It's on the guy on the back of the motorcycle.
Yeah, the back of the motorcycle, fine. But I'm saying if you're sitting in the back seat, that's like a power move in
That's
itself.
a power move.
Can you ride
imagine?
on the back of a motorcycle and be a man?
With another guy?
No.
If you have a badass girl and she's got like some crazy. If you're dating Danica Patrick or something, yeah, I'd drive in shotgun.
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
On a motorcycle.
I know.
Sure.
Well,
I'd be like, I'll follow you into my car.
Aren't you Big Spoon? Technically,
Well,
if you
always, yeah.
No, if you're on a motorcycle, aren't you Big Spoon on the back?
No.
You ever been to Little Spoon?
No.
It sure sounds nice.
No,
I
you're
sure
terrible.
like it.
Love it.
Oh boy! Today on the Power Move, I felt like Colt has not been involved enough lately. I feel like Colt has been in his own little world. So we're going to try to bring Colt out of his shell. So we have a couple things today.
Sounds like communism, by the way.
It does.
Angry, but I've been angry the last month or so.
Why are you angry, Colt?
Just
Why
everything.
Just
People are
everything.
the world, man. The world. God, we're a bunch of
I'm
pansies now, man. I'm so tired of half the people I deal with.
Well, I'm going to get you worked up for sure because today, Colt. His favorite book that we always talk about. Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. Well, he wrote other books, Colt, so we're going to talk about another one today. So today,
the only one you need to
we're going to
listen
discuss the Laws of Seduction.
Brown chicken, brown
One
cow.
of his books that he wrote, Colt.
I hope you've read this before.
And I'm telling you.
This is 2022. I don't know if we can read some of this stuff anymore.
And I'm telling you, we're going to bring it right out of you, Colt. All the way.
In your plums.
In the plums, yeah.
Feeling the
Anyway, no,
plums.
just kidding. So, yeah, but we're going to talk about that book, The 48 Laws of Power. We're implementing a new segment this week where Colt will read the news once a week. And this is news that Colt found and he thought was important that we should know.
Are you going to get it on a teleprompter for him so we can Ron Burgundy him once in a while?
I think we should.
I'm Colt.
He'll read anything that's on there. Yeah, I agree.
Fuck yourself.
I agree. He will. But no, I think that I think the 48 laws, I'm sorry, not 48 laws of power, but the rules of seduction is what we're going to go over today. And it's not just about, this is not, if you're listening to this and you're like, sweet, just what I always wanted,
NC-17,
3 middle-aged white dudes are going to tell me how to pick, married middle-aged white dudes are going to tell me how to pick up chicks. That's not really what this is about.
We could.
We
could
picked up decent chicks.
We've done well, but that's not really what this is about. It's a book about seduction. Can be about getting what you want from others regardless. And it doesn't always have to be a little roll in the hay. It can be buy my stuff. It can be, let me just get a one-up on you.
Give me some time.
Yeah, give me some time. Give me whatever it might be. It can be any of those things. And so today, we're going to kind of go over some key insights from that book. Are you excited, Colt? Are you excited for this today?
Because I keep wanting to go over the power again, but
I know
no
you
one
do.
wants to. So
I know.
This is a new one.
He's in the K-hole of
I don't know if power and seduction is going to be the best blended thing,
I would
but we'll
say
figure it out.
every week could be your powers. Like you could go over that book every week, same podcast. What
love it.
What are we going to talk about
Every
today,
day.
Colt? The same thing we talked about last week.
Bring a new pair of
Just sit
pants
there.
every
I'm
Tuesday.
going to
That's
wake
it.
up and just draw a card out of next to my bed, and
That's
it's going to be one of them.
So here's what we're going to do today with the Art of Seduction. We're going to hit the key insights from the old Insta-read, which I do love. I'm not endorsed by the Insta-read, but people ask me all the time, how do you read so many books? And the answer is very simple. I go to the Insta-read, I give it the 15 to 20 minute Insta-read, and if I like it and I like the vibe of it, I will then invest my time and energy into the entire book.
Into the audiobook.
No, yeah, sometimes audiobook, but I do prefer cover to cover or audiobook.
Only, yeah, you know what? Huh? I used to read a book a week, a paper book a week.
Yeah.
I just destroyed books.
But how many Encyclopedia Brown novels? Because I mean, how many mysteries can that guy solve?
Seriously. Snoopy is a hell of a detective. so no, I used to read like a finance book every week. When you talk about biographies, we talk about things about hedge funds, about J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, all that stuff. I've read it all. I used to go to the business section of books, and I would have nothing there to read.
Which leads us to probably, I would say, the finest thing ever put on television is the miniseries "The Men Who Built America." If you've never watched this, it's the finest. If you are in any sort of business and you've never watched that,
right?
Holy smokes, you got to
about the robber barons, yes,
dude,
History Channel, right?
Just I think you can probably find
the
it
Carnegies,
on YouTube
the Mellons.
Yeah.
The
Have you watched the
Commodore, my friend?
Sex,
the Commodore, Cornelius? I have
Crazy.
stock from old Vanderbilt.
I've seen that.
But anyway, no. What I was saying is, used to read all these books, and then Audible came out. First off, I went to law school, so after about four years after going to law school, I couldn't read anymore because all I do is I go to work and read.
Right.
So reading for pleasure is a problem. I'm getting back into it, thankfully.
Well, it's hard to do scratch and sniff on Audible.
This man does not lie, people. This man never tells a lie.
He's back, baby. So I'm telling you.
I just find Waldo so quick in the audiobook.
Where is he?
Audiobook is just a bunch of descriptions of the people around Waldo. But anyway, no. So with Audible, though, you can tear through a lot of really good stuff while you're driving, things like that. So I always make a point of having something like that going.
Well, let's get right into the Art of Seduction here.
He's got to read the news.
No, the news comes later. See, here's the problem. If I let him read the news now, then people just are gone, right? They hear him read the news, they laugh, they enjoy this, and then now that's the end of it.
The teaser.
That was the teaser
He's the
for
meat
the
sandwich.
News.
You guys wear contacts?
He's the closer.
I'm nothing.
Contacts?
No, I got the Monovision.
I think that it's bullshit that I pay so much for glasses. I'm getting ripped off by insurance. Should be free.
Sounds like you
should be free.
Touting the benefits of a Canadian style healthcare system.
Just saying. I mean, for
love
eyes.
or leave it.
Hey, do you know what I did see? My son did watch Tornado Chasers from 2014. I'm sure it made one season, but they were from Regina.
Psychos.
Yeah,
real lunatics.
Yeah, it was an interesting town. It looked like.
That's a terrible town.
Yeah. Did you know that the Golden Knights have more Canadians than any hockey team in the NHL?
I do know that.
Did you know that? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know that till yesterday.
High Canadian presence. We love it here.
Yeah,
this is our.
I love it. It's like a second home.
It's our catnip. We just come down here and start licking,
and that's it. And that's it. Well, let's get into this book. All right. Now, this book has a lot of key insights to it, but there's some stuff that I think we can all agree on, and then I want to dig a little deeper, which is simple. The first one is seducers must enhance their natural charisma to make themselves as appealing to victims, quote unquote, as possible. And yes, they use the word
already
victim.
started. I love this. I 100% agree with that.
I think you guys got this one.
I'm reading it from me. I'm reading right from the book, but it says charisma exists on a spectrum. Charisma is that it factor that you can't quite put your finger on. Mm-hmm. You can't explain. And a couple of things in here say there's certain things that are proven to increase charisma that you cannot control. For example, no. For example, what do you think one of the number one things for charisma is that we all have in this room? We're all blessed with it. What do you think it is?
Extroversion.
No.
Hair.
Well,
height.
If you are tall,
types of charisma. I meant personality.
Yes. No, but I'm saying just in general, charisma. Yeah. If you are tall, you are perceived as more charismatic. Yes. A tall boss is more respected than a short boss.
Tall people make more money.
Hey, don't be mad, people. I don't make the rules here. I'm just reading them right off the sheet.
The average CEO is what, 6'2", I think.
Yeah. Height is good. Height is good. The next thing is you can tweak simple body language that can change your charisma. Mm-hmm. And man, I showed this when this came up. I showed it immediately to my son because that's the battle that I fight with him all the time.
Does he cross his arms?
Shoulders back. Hunched over, arms crossed.
Yeah. Like I brought that up with my daughter.
Doing right now.
Yeah.
No, I mean there's a relaxed pose.
Yeah.
My daughter was in the car and I look over and I couldn't place him. Like, what's wrong? She's like, nothing. I'm like, you look like something is really wrong. She's like, oh, like your arms crossed. You have this like bad body image right now. You have this bad body language. And she's like, no, I'm comfortable here. I'm like, well, don't do it. Like, just don't. Like, I promise you. Just don't get comfortable just sitting back and being open. Because if you're doing this, you're more open to the world.
We went so far as to buy a little thing that literally you stick it on you. It's a little tag, if you will, that vibrates.
Electroshock.
It is. No, it vibrates. And we stick it on Hayden in the middle of his back when he's at home. And if he gets in an angle too far over, it buzzes to remind him to sit up.
Yeah, it's good. My mom would walk by and do this.
Yeah. Because I'm like, buddy, you got to do that. And when you how you present yourself to the world will receive you and the world will react to that. So if you're somebody that, and I tell them too, you got to take up some space, buddy. You got to, like when you sit, you can't just be meek. You got to take up a little room.
Man spread,
my friend.
Get your balls on somebody else's leg.
You got to do it. You got to man spread yourself out. And that makes a lot of sense. Now, this one I thought was interesting. And I think this is going to be a challenge for people because you know what else is a high quotient to charisma, if you will, is attentiveness. Mm-hmm. And I think with all the beep, bop, boops that we all have these days going in every direction, paying attention to anything is hard. So if you want to come off more charismatic, the more you can single in on somebody and really just zone in on them and ignore everything else, it will help your charisma as you go along.
I was told by a woman a long time ago, I was like, why are girls into this guy? It was like a thing. Right. This guy was just kill it. Not prototypically attractive, not tall.
We all have that friend. We have that friend.
Just kills it. Yeah. And I asked him, I'm like, what about this guy? And the answer blew me away because I really wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
So when he talks to you, it's like you're the only person alive in the world.
Yep.
But think of all the really successful people. I'm not saying people that make a little bit good money. The people that are super successful, they make you feel like you're the greatest person,
only person in the room
ever. Mm-hmm. Yep. I love that one.
Like you're the only guy, which is awesome. So if you are someone that is wanting to seduce others,
victims.
Look at but here's the thing. Again, start pulling the thumb instead of pointing the finger. Look in the mirror first. See how you present to the world. There's a theory out there, and I don't know if we've talked about it before, but it's about lobsters. And lobsters, based on their physiology of how they present to the other lobsters, will become either, fight or flight. They'll become either the king lobster or they'll become the weak lobster. And what happens is, as they present themselves weaker, and then the other lobsters start to attack them because of their physiology, it changes their actual physicality. They actually become weaker in real life because they spend so much time in a state of fight or flight that it weakens their immune systems. It weakens everything about them. So what starts with simple physiology turns out really affecting them.
I think
at a
that's
molecular
a human
level.
being too, though.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it probably
that's
does.
humans. You can sit there and watch people and like, wow, that guy was a shit, back in the day. Mm-hmm. And he has a couple of wrong moves or can't get up, and they're eating alive after.
People, if you think you're sick all the time, you're going to get sick. It's psychosomatic. Mm-hmm. Somatoform illnesses, psychosomatic responses. So what you believe you are, you will become.
You know what? I forgot. I'm going to segue for a minute because I forgot to tell you something. I thought I went to my mastermind, a new mastermind this weekend, which was phenomenal, by the way. It's the boardroom mastermind with Ken Clothier, and it's the people that were in that room were phenomenal. I mean, there were some people in there with three commas. You know what I'm saying? There were some serious hitters there. And at one point, somebody was talking about people's need to belong, and they brought up one of your favorite concepts, which is the man's concept of tribe. What is it? You talk about people's need to be tribal and need to be part of a tribe. What's the
Dunbar's number?
Dunbar's number, yes. And somebody from across the room goes, well, there's Dunbar's number, which is a concept. And I'm like, did fucking Connel roll in here? And then
so you should have thrown it out first. That would have been a power move.
I don't own wisdom. I would just spew it.
Yeah, it would have been a power move to get that on there, but there was. But let's go to insight number 2. You ready? A seducer should cultivate a mysterious persona.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah. Now,
totally agree with that.
Did you guys ever see like the the pickup artist show on VH1, which was so magical.
Mystery.
Yes, Mystery, that guy. What's even better is if you ever read Neil Strauss's book, The Game, where he went and hung out with that guy for like a while, and what a complete nutbag he was. But
Courtney Love.
Yeah, exactly. What a complete.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
The Game. Neil Strauss. Okay. He's the guy who wrote The Dirt. He wrote all these.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Rolling. Like he worked for I think Rolling Stone. Wrote all these books.
Yeah.
And then he found out about this guy Mystery, who's a pickup artist. One of the guys who, and it was like this. He was writing a book about the secret of pickup artists. Yeah. And so Neil Strauss, started doing it himself.
Yeah. Went to like study all the gurus.
He got a name Style. Style.
Spike, you did his hair. Yeah. And anyway, but these guys are like, there was a show on VH1 where they would take guys that were less than hip. Yeah. Probably never had a girlfriend their whole life, and they would turn them into pickup artists. And anyway, a big part of what he said was to create a mysterious persona, i.e. his name was Mystery. But that's not really what this is talking about. What this is talking about is not walk into a room and be like,
Vance refrigeration.
No, not that. No. What it means is never really let people know your intentions or why you are doing something. Never explain yourself. And there's an example that they use in this paragraph that says, seduction thrives on inscrutability and instability. Seducers should try to seem mysterious, even a little emotionally volatile to keep the victim guessing. A good seducer can maintain the advantage by staying a step ahead of the victim at all times.
Gaslight.
Being mysterious might not be as difficult as it sounds, as people often seem inscrutable to others without even trying. According to psychologists, a lot of misunderstandings are rooted in a phenomenon called the transparency illusion. Here we go. Which is when someone naturally assumes that whatever they are thinking is immediately obvious to other people. For example, without ever saying anything out loud, Tiffany might automatically assume that Jason knows she's in a bad mood because she's tired. She feels as though her tiredness is simply obvious to everyone, which is transparency illusion at work. Meanwhile, Jason has no idea how tired Tiffany is. After all, she never mentioned it. So he just assumes that she's angry with him. In terms of seduction, this understanding inadvertently serves Tiffany well, as Jason will feel confused about what he's done to make her mad, which gives Tiffany the advantage.
Seems like
Look at Colt is just seething to his head.
This is such horseshit. Like that.
But it's not horseshit. If you really think about it, tell me that's not the truth.
Okay, but what that does is create breakdowns of communication. When you want to talk to psychologists, you want to talk about all these other things.
We're not talking about a great marriage. We're talking about seducing somebody, Chris. Victimizing somebody.
Okay. You've never been in a relationship with somebody where you walked in and they were like, whatever. And you immediately assumed, shit, they're mad at me. What did I do? So you start overcompensating, trying to make them not mad at you. That never happened.
Well, I'd probably walk in, but you got to remember that I'd probably do the same thing. I'd be like, fuck you. I didn't do anything to you.
Yeah.
Like, why are you mad at me? Like, get over it.
Yep.
I like it.
That just creates conflict. I don't know how it's seductive.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the point of volatility.
You're being a mystery man, and then people put it, this guy must be this or
What's
that.
What's wrong? Nothing. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah, but I think it's getting even to that. Like, perfect example. Last night.
Vague booking?
I went to a party last night and got stuck at a table with people I didn't know, and they all knew each other and kind of were like, didn't even look at us when we sat down. Like, cool, go fuck yourself, right? And I just sat there. Pleasure to meet you guys. That's all I said.
Did you ask them if they knew who you were?
No. You guys know who I am. But I said nothing. So then a big person in town rolled by a table, hey, Colt, hey, Vet, and walked off. We just sat there. After that, those guys are just like, trying to figure you out because you're not over there, hey, I'm Colt, I'm this, I'm that, and trying to get into it.
Air of mystery.
Be mistress.
Yeah, air of mystery. Because here's the thing. Chaos is actually attractive. And if you've ever been around or dated girls that dance on poles, this is case in point. There you go. I mean, the more chaotic it is, which is why, a lot of times girls that make a lot of money that are sometimes beautiful have a boyfriend that is, at home playing Xbox, that's in a band, and she's going to save him.
Photographer.
She's going to save him.
Somebody posted, a friend of mine posted to, he goes, the conundrum is this. He goes, if you're not with a crazy girl, she's probably very boring. Mm-hmm. And somebody posted a comment on there going, I think you just told on yourself. You know there are other people, right? Like,
True though. Do you think?
I mean, I get
craziness
I
keeps
get.
your
There's
life.
a little,
But a
what's
lot
crazy-
craziness. Like we got a mutual friend, all of us. He dates too many craziness.
It's a prerequisite to date him.
Yeah, but
there's
what is that?
check
It's like you
box.
said, you're telling on yourself a little bit. You're attracted to something about it.
Oh yeah. People
Are they
attracted
crazy?
to
So
that.
are they crazy or are they just?
Oh no, these girls are certifiable.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's such a guy thing to think of the way a woman does something is crazy, but other women would be like, "That's totally fine."
Okay, cool.
Nah,
Okay,
nah.
all right, let's play. Where's the line?
I'm not-
Let's play.
yeah,
Where's the
I'm
line?
I'm not involved in
Now,
this
here we are.
conversation.
Where's the line?
I'm not saying
Let's
I
say
disagree.
let's say hypothetically, someone murdered their pet because they were mad at you, trying to hurt you as they hurled their pet at you in a fishbowl, and the pet died.
100%
Crazy or
That's
not
a crazy thing.
That's
to do.
certifiable.
That's a pretty crazy thing to do.
Okay. Choke yourself with your own shoelace and try to call the cops and say that you got choked by that person. Crazy or
Pretty
not.
fucking
Why-
dangerous.
Why the other person is on the phone with the police?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Crazy.
That's a
Craziness.
good sign of a very volatile person that needs a lot of help.
Yeah, it is.
It's a pretty crazy thing.
Or just some love. or just a little
Haven't
love.
found the right guy yet.
That's all they need. Just a
man.
little love.
Thank goodness.
Just
Thank goodness.
just a little
Dodge
love.
some of those.
And those
bullets.
are true stories.
Yeah, they are true stories. And by the way, just to help you out, if you are a friend of mine and you happen to date some girl that's somewhat unstable and you have a funny nickname about her instability and you tell me said nickname and you ask me not to call her that when she walks up,
Don't do it.
45% chance it's coming out of my mouth.
No, 45 or 100%.
100% it's coming out. It's coming out of my mouth. Fish tank. Anyway, moving on. Key insight number 3. People are naturally narcissistic. Robert Greene just speaks to your soul, I feel like, Colt. People are naturally narcissistic, so they're attracted to others who share similar sensibilities and interests.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's pretty simple. You want people to like you, like what they like.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything super
Yeah,
complicated.
be
about
interested in
this.
what other. But I don't think that most people are narcissistic. I think that people have traits that
Oh, I disagree with that.
parallel. But no,
agrees.
a true narcissist totally doesn't.
Maybe not
think of
true. Like
But I
you're
mean,
thinking,
to say,
but
like-
to have tendencies.
Yeah, but I mean, like every psychopath leaves their house in the morning. It's like, well, so you have psychopathic tendencies when you leave your house. I'm saying
do they? They
there's
go to their
self-preservation, right? Everybody's going to be self-interested. I don't think that's narcissistic.
By definition.
In sales
You know, I
classes,
think that's
in
light.
sales classes all the time, I ask people, I go, let me ask you a question. Who's your favorite person? And people are like, oh, my mom, my best friend.
Yeah, of
I'm like, you're
course.
lying. You are your own favorite person.
If you have a healthy self-esteem,
Yeah. Oh, that's true. There's some,
there's a lot of bad self-esteem.
even if there's some
around.
self-loathing, I still think that there's a little bit of that in people, which is there.
I think people are very self-interested. I don't think everybody likes themselves.
No?
No, I don't think a lot of people are as proud of themselves as they
I
pretend.
love
to be.
myself. My mom growing up would be like, oh, you're so secretive. You're this or that. I'm like, I hope my kids turn out exactly like me.
Yeah, I just leave them alone.
Well,
They're amazing.
This says that in 2016 study, researchers compared the personalities of different kinds of pairs, including romantic partners and close friends, and found that people really are motivated to spend time with others who have similar attitudes and interests. Indeed, the phenomenon was so common that researchers think it's more than just a trend, it's something closer to a default. Now, I think where this is a real problem,
Pretty obvious.
it's obvious, the echo chamber with politics.
I'm saying that's a pretty obvious thing. I like to be around people that like the things I like to do.
Well, no. But again, I think that it's more than that. I think if you look at, we've talked about echo chambers with political parties and people's political views. People like to be around other people that think the same way because it makes them feel like they're right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Speaking of which,
It's like having the yes man always around.
speaking of which, if poking the bear was
Oh,
an
yeah.
Olympic sport, if it was an Olympic sport, Chris Connell would be a gold medalist every year at
Top
poking the bear.
5 invited back every year.
I was crying at that text chain. I was absolutely.
I'm not going to get
I was
involved
crying.
in this.
No, there's nothing wrong with it, but I was crying because we have a big
I
text
could've
chain.
gone in
No,
deep.
I'm not going to name names or tell anything else, but we have a big text chain with a lot of people of varying views, and some of those views tend to lean way out in a direction, one way or the other.
One way or the other.
And I just see it coming because it's like it's like watching a master fish for a marlin, if I will. It's like you bait the hook, you gotta, set it out there,
jigger it a little bit.
Jiggle it just a little bit, and then when the time comes, you just set that
just
hook,
sink it,
and you can just
and then you fight, you hold on for dear life.
Hang on
I
for
just
dear
get
life.
the popcorn ready every time I laugh.
So
Sidebar.
yeah, if you ever need someone to poke the bear, Chris Connell is definitely your guy, which probably what makes you a good attorney.
I mean, it's sort of what we do, right? Try to
does.
find out what.
Yeah, it does. It does. Oh boy. All right. Key insight number 4, seducers should subtly mimic targets' behaviors and moods. Now, I totally agree with this. And if you are in sales, matching and mirroring, I mean, every sales book, every How to Win Friends and Influence people will talk about matching and mirroring.
100%.
And for those of you who are listening to this who may have never heard that term, what it essentially means is it means literally acting like you are a mirror image to the people that you're talking to. When I'm on the phone, go ahead. What do you got?
I was going to say, there's time you can meet like younger people, and you're like, oh, like they're just exactly like as soon as you go like this or like that.
Oh,
so
dude,
sometimes you gotta practice.
Well, no.
Yeah, because it's like don't follow when they itch their head. You itch your head.
Every person that kind of is, or for years, because I used to do all the interviews for Simply Vegas, and when people would come to interview, I would match and mirror them, and I knew when to close them when I could make them move. And what I mean is, if you get in exact sync with somebody, if you touch your knee, I touch my knee, and you do it subtly. And if they lean forward, you lean forward. Subtle, if they lean back, you lean back. They cross the knee, you cross the knee. You know, just real subtly. But at some point, like, then you reach for your water, and then when they reach for their water, now you're like, okay, I got you. Now I got you. And I'm telling people, and I've told people this story that are like in the room, in a classroom setting, and I can just see them looking like, wow, I
would never do that.
It's like I did it to you. I did this to you. And it's such a small thing and such a subtle thing, but I think it's most importantly, if you're working in a sales gig, like a lot of we do in real estate that deals with the phone. I think a lot of it is. You got to pay attention to especially the volume at which people speak. Good Lord. If somebody, the volume and the tempo at which they speak, because I'll never forget, I was having a class one time. This dude was in there and he raised his hands, and it was a sales class. And he's like, John, let me ask you a question. I'm having a real hard time getting people to engage with me when I get to the qualification period of the call. And I'm like,
well, that's
yeah, exactly.
because you're at about half speed.
Exactly. I told him, and I said, okay, stop. I'm going to help you. The reason is because me talking to you right now, your voice to me is like nails on a chalkboard. Yeah. You see how fast I talk. And I said, but there's a flip side to that coin, because I speak very quickly. So to someone that speaks as slow as you, they're like, when I come at them that way.
Yeah.
So I am constantly adjusting my tempo, my tone, my volume to whoever I'm speaking with to match and marry them. Because again, people's favorite people are themselves. You want to make sure you're getting there.
You can adjust that by doing that. So let's say you're a real fast talker. I will intentionally slow down.
Yeah.
Right. And then you'll probably actually slow down a little bit too. So we get to a middle point.
Well, that's the Chris Voss thing.
Yeah.
When he talks about the best way to bring somebody down off the ledge. And I've taught this for years, which is, let's say you have a client that's like, you mother truckers, this is bullshit. That title company screwed up and blah, blah, whatever it is, rah, rah, rah. Rather than look at them.
Well, I think you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, but rather than look at them and say, you need to calm down, or okay, settle down, which, except for your wife, always tell that to calm down. That is a move.
Ever in a relationship.
Always.
It's amazing how many people say that.
Calm down.
You need to calm down.
No.
It's like,
especially if you know Latina women, you should do that to them
all the time.
Always.
Expressly.
Always.
Right next to knives.
But with except for Latina women, where calm down is always
100% appreciated.
You need to go straight up with where you go ballistic with them. Like if you're at 9, I'm going to go right to 9 with you.
I get it.
And then I'm going to walk you down.
Yeah.
God, this is bullshit. But you know what? Maybe, just maybe it wasn't screwed up. Maybe it was this. I
don't know. Just throwing out ideas.
I'm just throwing ideas. We should call and find out.
Just spitballing.
And you can walk them down. But if you have somebody that's at 9 and you try to come at them at 1, they're going to be like, screw you too, buddy.
You know what's a fun way? You know what's a fun thing you can do with that?
What's that?
If you just ask people for permission to take a second, like if somebody's fired up and they're, oh, what the fuck? Be like, oh my God, just give me a second here. I need to get my thoughts because I'm mad too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you kind of say, okay,
because you need to address, you understand. People are not at a 9 or a 10 for no big reason.
Right.
It might not be a big reason, but to them it's not. To them it's not, right? So you have to mirror that, because if you come to me and say, oh, blah, 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 and I'm like, it's not a big deal. Then now you're just... Oh,
now I'm pissed.
Now I'm even...
Well, now you didn't recognize...
that I'm pissed.
You didn't validate my feelings.
Right.
But if I'm at a 9 or a 10... People, that's the other thing. People aren't at a 9 and a 10 forever. They're not going home to dinner that night.
No.
So you can take that, let them kind of blow it off, but then walk them back, like you said, with sort of a, hey, I'm mad. Oh, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But give me a second. I want to think about something because we may have an option here.
Yeah. Solution.
And then they go, okay.
Yeah.
That'll immediately diffuse. Those diffusal situations are good.
I agree. Number 5, stagnation kills seduction. New experiences help keep things interesting.
That's
totally disagree. New interest, new experiences are for the birds, man. Just go home every night.
No.
Watch television.
I think. Look. I know our minds all kind of go to the same place, and we're like, okay, let's get the finger paint out or whatever we're talking about. I don't know, whatever. But I think where I'm going to take this, I'm going to read it first because Colt is just going to go crazy when I read this.
I was just going to say,
no, I got to read it. I got to read it first. A seducer must hold a victim's rapt attention. An effective tactic is to keep the person guessing so he or she doesn't grow bored with being seduced over time. Waning interest is death to seduction. Conventional wisdom suggests that new romantic relationships are more exciting than long-term partnerships, a claim that science seems to back. Research suggests that when a romance is in its early stages, the brain's dopamine levels spike in the same way that occurs with substance use. However, these spikes in dopamine aren't sustainable, so inevitably the excitement fades away. Couples who've been together for a long time tend to fall into routines such as going to the same restaurant every weekend or taking the same vacation each summer. While those activities may be pleasant, they won't have the same effect as trying new experiences. New activities could include something simple such as cooking class. Oh, God, who's going to cooking class? This is my point with it.
Absolutely.
This is my point with it. I'm going to take this.
Dancing, that'd be fun.
I'm going to take this out of the relationship mode and I'm going to put it in the sales mode because I literally just had a call. I just had a coaching call with my team at one of our title JVs, and we were talking about elite customer experience during the sale. And my thing was, the rep was like, I'm going out there, I'm talking to these people, blah, blah. I'm like, because you're always talking to them the same way. Send me business. You're a broken record. They see you coming down the hallway and it's like the person at the clothing store. Can I help you? No, I'm just looking. They already know what's going to come out of your mouth. I said, you've got to create a better, more interesting reason and way to talk to them. I said, so here's what I would do. I said, obviously you're calling them right when they open a transaction. Obviously, and by client with a title rep, you're talking about the realtors, not the actual home buyer or seller. And I said, you're calling them to say thank you right when it first opened. She says yes. And I said, cool. What I would do is I would set it in your calendar 10 days later to call and say, is everything still going okay? Is there anything I can do for you? Is your transaction good? Then I would set another reminder 3 days before close and say, is there anything you need me to help you get from your clients to make sure this is getting ready to go? But make it about actually helping them have a good experience and not just asking for business. And now you have a good reason to do that. And that's changing up the routine. That's changing up. If you're always calling your client base with the same pitch, you got to mix it up.
Call your clients sometime and talk about something that they're interested in.
Nothing to do with the deal.
Nothing to do with the deal. Seriously.
There was times that I would make up lies. Oh, I saw this, made me think of you. How's everything going? I didn't see that. Just a nice little icebreaker.
Who gives a shit? I think that's great. But hey, I saw this cool thing, made me think of you, blah, blah, blah. I just thought you'd find it interesting. Check out this show or whatever.
If you're calling me and 9 out of 10 times it's about business, you're turning me off already. But then invite me for a cigar, invite me for dinner, invite me for coffee.
You become somebody that you'll go in the Rolodex of people that if I need to use somebody for what you do, then fine.
Right. Yeah.
You're not a person anymore. You become you become
a product.
A product.
100%.
A product. Key insight number 6. Victims' childhood relationships with their parents affect their romantic relationships as adults.
Yeah.
So essentially, well, no, this goes back to far to say as a baby.
This has to do with sexual preference. It says everything.
It says Balbo is among the first psychoanalysis to suggest that the way parents interact with their babies greatly influences emotional development and communication styles. Babies whose physical and emotional needs were routinely met by their parents are more likely to grow up to be good communicators and healthy emotions.
Dr. Gabor Mate, if you're ever interested in this kind of thought. So I've listened to.
Well, I've met Colt's dad, so this is resonating.
This guy, Dr. Gabor Mate, he brought up this thing where, I'm an idiot. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with parenting. Just because I've had 2 kids and neither of them have gone to prison yet. One's only 14.
That's a win. So. Check it off.
But again, we're trying the best we can, right? We're doing what we think is best for our kids at all time. I don't ever do anything if I think it's bad for my kids. Okay. Right. And so
is that something is that a fear in the back of your hide that you're constantly screwing up your kids?
Well,
there
is, of course, there is a thing that was this the right way to do it? Was I too harsh? Because there's times when I let things go, and then if I'm not addressed in a certain way, then I've yelled. I don't hit my kids because I'm past that Dr. Spock point. No. But I think hitting children is not the right move. No. But I think my kids believe I will.
Did you spank your kids?
No.
Oh.
I never had to. My oldest was always very. We work on it now. The problem is that she's
I'd like to point something else at that. He's never had a son.
No. Would I?
Because could I spank my daughter? Right. Yeah, absolutely not.
Never.
Not a chance.
But I mean, a swat.
Could I punch my son in the throat twice a day?
So I get it. No, but I totally. I don't know. Whatever. But Gabor Mate had a good point about Dr. Spock when we were growing up. Remember, Dr. Spock was the child rearing expert. Whatever. Blah blah blah.
I thought that was the guy on.
He said, "Let your kids." He said, "Let your kids self-soothe and cry it out."
You're right.
He said, "Don't always go run into the room. You gotta let your kid cry it out, whatever." Apparently, that is literally the worst advice you can give to parents. Say kids' needs. They'll do what they need to have met, and then they'll figure it out. But if you give them love and nurturance, and you let them know that intrinsically at a very deep level that they're gonna have that support and love. Right, then holding them too much. There's no such thing as smothering them too much. That's a level that's very difficult to actually get to. So they found statistically that parents who were constantly not letting kids self-soothe, they cry, they run in the room and get the kid and nurture them until they feel better and go to sleep. Those kids end up being disproportionately successful later in life because they have high levels of self-esteem, self-confidence. They don't have repression issues. They don't need the therapy for my parents didn't let me do whatever.
Yeah, well, it's a whole.
I've changed my.
You weren't hugged as a kid, I'm sure, right? Like
that's right.
That's a real statement. That comes from a real place.
Yeah, he was a Hungarian. During Auschwitz or whatever, they had these parents had to give their kids away. So these kids grew up without people hugging them. That's why they're so stoic and cold, and they're not open and nurturing themselves. They have all these barriers of emotions because when they're kids, they didn't get what they needed from a nurturance point of view.
Oh, God. Crazy. This one I'm kind of buying into. And it's like this
you haven't bought into all of them so far?
No, I'm saying some of them. Yeah.
But this one, right.
All right,
calling his tattoo artist.
True. Yeah. He's going to get Robert Greene right across the chest. Now, this one says a heightened emotional state will cloud the victim's decision-making skills. And this is like seriously phone scammer 101, dude, with old people. Because it says in one study, researchers found that older people were more likely to be swindled and take financial risks when their emotions were aroused. These emotional states didn't have to be negative. Positive emotions also seem to interfere with the subject's decision-making ability. For example, criminals who can upset or excite a man in his 80s before presenting a fraudulent financial proposition have a much greater chance of defrauding the victim. The problem is compounded by criminals' knowledge that elderly demographic is more susceptible to their deception, which means they're more likely to target older people. This is the
scammer payback.
Well, no, I'm calling from the sheriff's department. IRS. There's a warrant for you at IRS. I need you to send me. They bounce them off the ceiling and they get all freaked out, and then all of a sudden they're like, going to get gift cards to send to the IRS. Which
those type of people,
oh my God,
they need to just kill them all.
Speaking of old people, I mean, my mom is seriously starting to just serve up some magic. I mean, absolute just gold. And I'm going to show you guys this because this was magical over the weekend. So my mom on her Instagram posted her flight information on Instagram.
Did you see the Instagram account Toxic Kings?
It gets so better. She posted her flight information, right, To which I commented back.
Just canceled it.
No, hang on. It gets so much better. I gotta find the exact phrasing because it gets so much better. All right. To which I responded back, Mom, if you keep posting your flight attendant or your flight information, I'm putting you in the home.
Yeah.
All right. To which she responded in kind on Instagram for all to see. This is not a DM. This is for everybody to see. She responded back at the John Gafford. I'm going to read this exactly as it's written. Deep sense of peace, but since then, I don't know how this happened. I'm blaming on my phone. There was no intention in this whatsoever. And then right below that response, it says, the above reply picked up from TV. How do I take this down? So she was talking. So the TV, and this is all posted on Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
So there's this IG account called like Toxic Kings or something.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
And it was this girl posted her flight information to Miami for the weekend, so I called and canceled her flight.
Really?
Oh my
It's just
God.
like, what are you doing putting that out there?
That is not nice.
At Toxic Kings.
That's not nice.
I tell you, it's amazing what people
boy.
put online.
It is. It really is just incredible. The things that happen when you do that. But yeah. So my mom is one step away from the home. I thought
good.
that was the gift to just keep on giving. I thought it was amazing.
So you talk about illusion bias, right? Or the illusion, what'd you call it? The transparency bias.
Transparency bias.
So
You assume everybody knows what you're thinking.
Or how you're feeling about something. My dad, I love him more than wonderful dad, wonderful guy, amazing guy. But he has this thing where he assumes everybody thinks like him. It is to an absolute T. Yeah. And it'll be like,
and it's just bafflingly upset when they don't.
It drives my mom insane. Like he'll be on a plane, and the person beside him, he'll just start talking about how fucking shitty Trump is or whatever. And it's like, okay, you don't understand. You got to know your shot first before you can talk about what people are interested in. He'll talk to other people about like guys on his basketball team where he was a coach on a native reservation. It's like a lot of people really don't care, and they don't really even, they'll be nice and they're just trying to get out of the conversation. And he doesn't do it from a place of, he just assumes that people are interested in these things that he finds interesting.
Assumptions.
It's just
like hatred of U.S. presidents.
Well, no, but it's just one of those things where you just, everybody feels this way.
Yeah.
How do you not?
How do you not?
It's like,
and if you don't feel this way,
you're an idiot.
You're an idiot. I mean,
That's how it goes.
it's just funny.
Good Lord. Well, speaking of your dad, seducers should avoid overtly controlling their victims. Instead, seducers should use hints and subtle suggestions to bring about the desired behavior. And How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie made it one of his core principles to avoid giving orders. Instead, he recommends asking questions, which help provide others with an illusion of agency. In the parlance of seduction, which Carnegie did not use, the victim, Colt, you love it. The victim would feel more vested in the given action if it was proposed as a question instead of a demand. One of Carnegie's points was that human nature isn't really conducive to taking orders. An order might not work in the context where the person has received a lot of training, like in the military, but civilians tend to offer up a little more resistance. Consider a colleague who asks their counterpart in the other department if it would be possible to complete a task by the end of the week, as opposed to demanding it be finished by Friday.
It's a Socratic method.
I use that all the time.
It's literally the Socratic method.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. So, again, ask. I do this all the time. I always call, whenever I need something from like our county department, I'm always like, I know you guys are super busy. Would it be okay? And it might be something I need now. I'm like, I know you're super busy. You're super backed up. When you eat your first available chance, would it be okay if I got this? And then it just shows up. If I called them and said, I need this today, I'd have to hear about all the 50 things why they can't get it. And then, which is understandable. They're busy, but it would probably take 1 or 2 days to get that.
And sometimes you got to be direct with people.
Sometimes you got to be.
There's times I call somebody and say, hey, when you get a chance, and then 2 days later, I'm like, yeah, I needed that. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, the thing about earliest convenience, did I ever tell you about that? Have I ever aired my grievance about that? If I call you and your answering machine has, hi, this is Bob. Please leave a message. I'll get back to you at my earliest convenience. I find that to be literally the biggest turnoff ever in a voicemail.
Back to my earliest convenience.
At my earliest convenience.
Do I say that?
I don't know. I know. Now I'm going to start calling my voice.
Whoever does use that, change it immediately, because what you're saying is, I'll get around to when I feel like it.
How do I see?
At my
let's see.
earliest convenience.
I don't know if I have that or not.
Like my earliest convenience is like, you're not a priority. I guarantee it. That's just exactly how it reads.
I'm trying to see. I want to see. I want to see if I have this or not. How do you?
I'll get back to you as soon as it,
We're going for the default greeting. Let's see what I got. Hang on.
John Gafford.
Yeah, that wasn't even
no,
you.
That's
not even John.
Yeah, that's just the stupid thing. That wasn't even
it's a
me.
bot.
That was a
Wasn't
bot.
even me. How do you get to your?
Here, I'll call you and just ignore my.
Oh yeah, I'll just ignore your call.
So
like I've ever done that before.
no, because
so just do what you normally do.
but like you said, laws of seduction.
Put it on speaker.
I finally hide it.
I think I say that. I think I may have that.
My earliest convenience.
I think I may have that. Hang on. Here, put it on speaker. What do you got?
Hey, it's John. I'm not available to take your call right now. However, if you leave your name and number, I will return your call as quickly as possible. Thanks.
Return your call as soon as possible.
That's the right answer.
Okay, that's the right answer. Okay,
as soon as possible.
As soon as
Guess
possible.
what? You're clearly a priority. I'll get to it as soon as I can.
As soon as possible. Not my earliest
Not
convenience.
my
as soon as possible.
earliest
Okay.
convenience. Like it's inconvenient until.
See, I'm feeling good. What is
like
what does yours say, Colt? Just it's Colt. Go
Don't
fuck
leave a
yourself.
message.
That's it. Don't leave a message. I'm not calling you back.
I had a client legit said, "Do not leave a message," and he would freak out if you left a voicemail.
But some people say this, which I don't mind. They say I'll take a long time sometimes to respond to voicemails. So if you send a text, it'll be responded
It's faster.
faster.
Yeah, text you can respond faster.
Totally fine.
with
Give
that.
me instructions on how to get through to
Do
you.
you leave a voicemail?
I
handle
will.
text?
I will because a lot of times I deal with adjusters. A lot of
Yeah,
deals I
you're
deal with
dealing.
corporate
Yeah,
stuff.
in business, sure. But just if I call you, I'm not leaving a message.
No,
you
I'll
see, I
text
called. You saw the miss.
I'll show you.
If you
text
saw
me.
me call, yeah.
You saw the miss. That's
If
it.
it's important, if you needed something, then maybe you would.
Well, if you're interested, if you like the topic we talked about today, you can pick up the book "The Laws of Seduction" by Robert Greene. Colt highly recommends.
I think
48
that
Laws
they're
of Power.
all great. I mean, there was nothing
I get it.
really bad about that one.
48 Laws of Power.
48 Laws of Power
was a whole nother animal.
Way better.
Whole nother animal.
Borderline.
You should have
But now-
probably not
no.
used victims.
Victim.
Yeah, victim,
Is
that's the
Victim's
word.
The word that gets him.
I think that is definitely the word that causes
a
a
little
problem.
weak.
He could be more persuasive in his
Yeah.
book if he said recipient or
Yeah,
something.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I can't wait for Cole to read the news.
I can't either.
Bated breath.
I think it's news time with Colt.
What do we have today?
Here we go, Colt.
Let's start off with Los Angeles Animal Control grants unicorn license to a young girl. Officials told the girl the unicorn must be given regular access to sunlight, moonbeams, and rainbows, and watermelon at least once a week. Okay, this is what's wrong with America. That's taxpayers' money going
Being
out,
spent.
being spent on that.
On research
Is
to
that
know
like
that
a
it needs
Make-A-Wish
moonbeams or telling her that?
Do you have an issue with that? I do have an issue. I get
don't.
one. The police do stuff to make their image come better,
Yeah.
but like animal control, you really have a problem with them that they got to go do unicorns?
And in Los Angeles,
mean-
I feel like there's probably enough stray animals in Los
Well,
Angeles.
it's probably
keep
a
them
way
busy.
to get animal control on people's minds so that people go to shelters and stop buying these absolute sins against nature.
Which
These
is done
dogs
now.
with
Which is done now.
Tongues picking out.
Yeah.
No, it's done now.
monsters.
It's done now. You know they banned pet sales in Clark County.
Good.
From pet stores. They're done. They're done.
Horrific. That is a horrific
Yeah.
institution.
Isn't it funny? They all come from the wolf breed.
Well,
That's
I
how
mean,
long it's like
gone?
just gone. Is that not the wildest? Anyway,
Mike-
Ricky Gervais says the best thing about unicorns. Why do we have to believe in unicorns? We have
Why?
octopuses. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
amazing, right? Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
amazing.
Oh, I think
Why are
that's
we thinking about a
a
freaking
horse with
thing?
a horn on its head. Yeah.
The girl freaking wrote to the LA County and they responded, and all this time have issues with them.
But it's so funny, don't you think some of these things are to keep you distracted?
But it's okay. But here's another problem. At some point, somebody there told this girl that she has to polish his horn once a month. I feel about that. That just that it says right here,
That
unicorn's
sounds
horn
like-
must be maintained. This requires polishing at least once a month.
Ugh.
Polish
I
the
don't
horn.
think they should have said that.
Man,
No.
the Boy Scouts got to stop using the same
Yeah.
PR person.
No, it's not good. And any sparkles or glitter used on the unicorn must be non-toxic and biodegradable.
I mean,
That's total LA for you.
this is just
Can't even get.
I can't
even
even-
get man's glitter
Just-
anymore. You got to
just
get
PR.
biodegradable.
This is what's wrong with America.
I think that's what's
It's a bad PR.
okay with America. It's better than Saudi Arabia, where they maybe chop your hand off for writing that kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
Which way would you rather
Going,
go?
wow, we're going real deep, huh?
Hey,
How do you
look,
feel? Do you think that? Do you think these people over there for the World Cup are
These
really
people?
dying? These people? No, there's been
What do you
two
mean?
deaths.
What do you mean, these people?
Colt?
Journalists. These journalists.
I don't know.
Do you think they're really naturally dying, or are they getting killed over
Look,
there?
Qatar, you know what they did? 2 days before the World Cup, they pulled all the beer.
Yeah.
Did you have a
Oh,
problem
you
with
couldn't
that?
drink it all?
I don't have a problem
Not
with
a stadium, not whatever. They literally pulled it because they're like, yeah. Budweiser had a whole thing.
Yeah, in designated areas.
Designated areas. But then 2 days before, they told
said,
FIFA,
"Nah, we're done."
and now FIFA's like, so Budweiser's like, hey, FIFA, what are you going to do about this?
that. Nothing.
So do you think, again, that it's going to be held in a Middle Eastern
Now,
Islamic?
we're talking about FIFA here. This is one of the most corrupt organizations on
that's-
earth.
But when
seduction. How you get a World Cup
bite the
is
hand
seduction.
that feeds you, like Budweiser,
Dude, but here's the thing. You don't think that a Saudi prince can hand under the table whoever's running FIFA and making those decisions so much money that they will put it wherever they wanted?
But again, it's just such a bad look when
I
you
agree.
have a world game like that and you let your religious convictions actually dictate what goes on.
But what shocks me about that
Have you
is
not
FIFA.
been to the Middle East? Do you not know anything about the Middle East?
I've been to the Middle East multiple times.
But FIFA is worldly. I could see some Americans being naive, like, oh, let's go over here and do that. I'm shocked FIFA had that issue. On to the next.
On to the next
I got
story.
some good one.
Here we go.
German police on the hunt for 60 containers of, what would you guess, Chris?
60 containers of something. German police? Sauerkraut.
No.
Close. Probably tastes the same.
I was going to say the same thing. Containers of stolen bull sperm.
Probably tastes the same.
Previous cargo needs to be super cold with liquid nitrogen at negative 320 degrees Fahrenheit so it doesn't spoil.
So kill off the T-1000.
So where'd it happen?
Why
So what happened to it?
would you?
What happened to the bull sperm?
It was stolen from a farm. Why? First off,
It's big money in bull sperm.
what would you use it for? They're seeking tips from the freaking thing. What are they using?
Why did Tia
it doesn't
Tequila
really
just jump
say.
into my head?
But why
It doesn't say much about
why
it.
wouldn't you assume it was for breeding?
This was
I know there's a nefarious
some
purpose
eyes wide
for
shut
this.
party where there's just a bunch of weirdos.
because it sounds like a lot of to contain it and keep it that cold. You think you would just
I
let
assume
a
it's for
bull go
breeding.
out there? I would assume too, but it doesn't say. It doesn't really say anything about it. This was purely just going off of the headline, and they got me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just really shocked that
Somebody stole a bunch of cleaning supplies. I assume they were cleaning something.
Chris. I'm going to research this. There's probably some better
There's gotta be
use.
a follow-up
There's got to
story.
be some better use for
gotta be a
bull
follow-up
sperm.
story.
It's probably steroids or something. I don't know.
It could be.
Could be
Or like North Koreans make soup out of it because it gives
Sure,
you
they think
vitality
it
or
gives
some
them- yeah,
crazy
whatever.
shit.
Yeah, we do some stupid things as humans, so whatever. Who knows?
Who knows?
Wonder how much. I mean, God,
Which
you
is a
think
gallon
What's that
of bull
going
sperm.
for?
bull sperm going for in Germany right now? I'll figure that out for next
Ever
one.
since Biden took over, it's up to $30 a gallon.
Thanks, Biden.
Biden, bull sperm's through the roof now.
God, I needed it last Thursday night. Couldn't get any. Nah. And the last one. This one's my favorite.
Okay.
Menacing
Better
wild turkeys led by Kevin are taking a New England city for themselves. They don't let you out of your house, one resident said. So the best is, okay, a flock
Kevin?
of feathered hooligans intimidating residents of Massachusetts. And their leader is one especially tough turkey, Kevin. So there's 5 of them. They are just going around this. The man who gave Kevin his name characterized him as a bad egg among other all-female turkey crew. So the police has a thing that they go that in their thing. It says not Kevin, but a bird who fits the general
Kevin's
profile.
description.
So
here's the
usually
question.
when there's 5 people running around terrorizizing people in Massachusetts, it's usually on
Kevin.
wild turkey. It's not.
On wild turkey.
Hey-o.
Kevin.
Hang on a minute. There it is. Nice. That's one for you, Connell. That's
you,
scores.
sir.
That's nice. But here's my question. All right. you got a gaggle, because it's a gaggle, right? We'll call it flock of menacing turkeys. And you got one that's the baddest turkey of them all.
You call him Kevin.
Do you go for Kevin?
Yeah.
Is that the name you go for?
Have you ever not seen that? What's that show? There's something wrong with
Up.
Kevin.
Oh, no, I thought it was Up.
There's like a book or something called "There's Something Wrong with
There's
Kevin."
a movie.
No,
Yeah,
there's something
movie,
wrong with Bob.
The guy that was in it is now a lunatic.
What about Bob?
The guy that starred in it is now insane.
I'm saying something with Kevin. Kevin's creepy.
Kevin, that's it.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin's a little creepy.
Kevin
creepy.
Spacey.
Creepy.
That's
Kevin
creepy.
Spacey,
I see
yeah.
where this is going.
But see, I think Kevin's creepy. I don't
Kevin's
think
creepy.
this
So is a turkey.
No, this turkey's not creepy. He's
He's just trying to take a. He's taking it back.
He's badass.
What would you name a menacing turkey, Colt? Top 5
Gator?
names.
Gator.
Gator.
the turkey.
He's a pimp for sure.
Gator. That's a.
I'm not even going to go with my other pimp.
Not like
I love
nails
it.
or something.
I love
Spike.
I love it. I love it.
Gator.
Well, Colt, thank you.
Kevin.
I got to play an outro for you if we're going to do this properly. If we're going to have this every week, I'm going to get this on the board for next week. I'll get it on the board for next week. But yeah, thank you for reading the note. All the news is fit to print with Colt Amidan, the Bulgarian Mongoose, right in studio.
I'll find out what
We'll see you next week, America.
bull sperm's used for,
Yes,
guys.
find that out what it's been for.
They're going to be shocked when it's
Yep.
not that.
And that's it. And guys, thanks for joining us today. If you're still here after that, if you're watching us on the old YouTube, give us a like, give us a subscribe. You'll see us on any podcast system out there. Give us a max review. It does help. And thanks for joining us.
I could never kill somebody because my Google, if they looked at my
We'll
Google
save it.
search,
Save it. Just let it fester inside for next week's show.
That'll be evidence.
Guys, if you're going to move, you might as well move forward.
Connel Law LV.
Connell Law, help me find you, Colt.
experiments.
3.
Colt_Amidan.
Hey, it's John Gafford. If you want to catch up more and see what we're doing, you can always go to thejohngafford.com, where we'll share any links things we talked about on the show, as well as links to the YouTube where you can watch us live. And if you want to catch up with me on Instagram, you can always follow me at thejohngafford. I'm here. Give me a shout.